DIYers, hey, what's going on? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. In today's video, we are going to show you the proper and safe way on how to remove your dryer duct or exhaust hose from the dryer chute, as well as the appliance. And in today's video, we are working on a GE electric version, specifically laundry center. Let's get started. Making our way to the utility room, and in front of us is our laundry center. We have a GE electric unit, and safety first always. We are going to cut all electrical power to this system. And in our case, because it is electric as opposed to gas, we have a higher voltage connection point and power cord and block, and just carefully disconnect this and unplug it. And I recommend not allowing the power cord or power block to just fall and smack the floor. That would not be good. As you see there, it is resting carefully on top of the washing machine. And on the right hand side, we have our hot, cold water lines, as well as our drain hose for the washing machine and our shutoff valve. However, coming to the left. And down below, near the rear, we have our dryer duct or hose, and it feeds onto and secures to the dryer duct chute that feeds the exhaust to the exterior portion and out of the home. Take a step back, I've grabbed the screwdriver, and in our case, a Phillips bit as shown there. And you may have a head that is a 1/4 inch socket size. However, again, we have a Phillips, and we are going to loosen up that worm gear clamp down below. In addition, behind this center panel here is where the dryer duct hose connects to the duct for the dryer. And I don't know why you are removing your hose. However, you've got options. You can remove it from here, or in your case, if you're replacing it, both, or if you are pulling the entire dryer or center away from the enclosure and out, you will definitely want to loosen it and remove it from that location, aka the chute. Camera now in position, and again, we are going to carefully loosen up the screw. And once that is loose, you can grab the hose or duct, and don't grab it back here and puncture it. If you plan on keeping it and reinstalling it, just carefully grab it where the clamp is and shift it back. If it's stuck, carefully rotate it or continue loosening up the clamp. And there it is, completely loose. Coming up and out of the enclosure that the laundry center is in, again, as I mentioned, you can remove this center panel. We've got 2 Phillips screws, and we can gain access to the opposite end of the dryer duct or hose. In fact, I want to show you that now. Camera now position, and again, in our case, 2 Phillips screws. Go ahead and loosen and remove them. And carefully pull down on the panel. And you may need to shift the panel up just to allow it to clear the little slots that it seats into. Set that aside. And we now have better access to quite a lot of parts. Here is all of the electrical wiring and your control board. And inside there, your water lines are opposite side or ends of the water line. And right inside there, DIYers, the opposite end of the dryer duct hose. And coming into a closer view, again, your control board, electrical wiring, and the opposite end of your water lines, and there it is, the opposite end of your dryer duct or hose. What we are going to do is we are going to take delivery of a brand new unit, and we are going to pull this out of the enclosure and shift it to the side, maybe put it on a drain pan here, specifically designed for washing machines. And down below in the comments and description will be a link on where to purchase this. 29 by 33, there are a few different options in size, and that will prevent water from leaking where it should not leak in the event that your washing machine does leak over time. That is a saver. We're back to the laundry center, and DIYers, I have shifted the entire laundry center out of the enclosure, and I have shifted the pad in there. And we're doing a lot, and it includes getting rid of this old one and installing a brand new one. A 1/4 inch screw, and we're going to remove that screw, and this panel can come off. We can reach our hand in there and get better access to the opposite end of the hose. Camera in position, and again, this panel with the 1/4 inch screw, go ahead and loosen and remove it. Coming inside, and as you can see, just on the top, you can see the 2 prongs, and it is an additional clamp. And you will reach your arm and hand in there and compress those 2 prongs, and that will release the tension on the hose, and you can carefully pull it off the opposite end fitting or ductwork. In addition, while we're here, there's the motor, there's the idle pulley, and there's the belt. And down below in the comments section, as well as the description section, we have links on how to replace those. Camera position, coming again inside, compressing those 2 prongs. DIYers, this is very easy and friendly to do, and you can just pull it off. As you see right there, very friendly to do. And from here, it's possible that you can remove the hose from the lower portion here with that clamp still installed on it. We will see. Not always, but we are going to see. And it doesn't look like it, so I am going to compress those 2 prongs and continue removing the ring. And it is, again, extremely easy. You can just compress it like that, and all it does is open up the ring or release the tension ever so slightly, and it comes right off. There it is. How cool is that? Take a step back, and there is the fully removed hose with the lock ring on the inner side and the additional clamp. And I used a sandwich bag because every time we touch this hose, a bunch of dust flies out. And we are also again getting it ready for pickup. We'll have a brand new unit here shortly. However, I'm making a bunch of videos for all of you, the DIY community. We will now reverse the steps and reinstall the hose, and you will do the same with a brand new dryer duct hose. Camera reposition, and I'm going to again feed the hose through that hole. And just be careful as you do this, because the last thing you want to do is damage or puncture a hole or rip your brand new duct as you install it. That would not be good. Just ever so carefully align it, and again, go slow. Do not pull it. If it is bound up or stuck, shift it either way and continue pulling it up and through. As shown there. And as you get it through, go inside with your hand and use your eyes to look further in and see where you have to align this actual hose. And I'm going to turn it as shown here and continue pulling it through and carefully install it on the opposite end. Let me move the camera so you see inside. And again, I am on the piece. However, I want to show you reinstalling the ring, coming inside here, compressing the 2 as shown there, and going over and around the hose itself. Now to a different camera angle, I actually had to move the camera back to get my hands and arms in place to properly shift that lock ring onto the new duct or hose without again damaging it, scratching it, ripping it, or puncturing it. From here, I have brought the ring back enough where I can shift this hose onto the inner fitting without compressing that lock ring. And I'm going to do that ever so carefully. I'm also down below pushing the hose up as I push this on. And feel for it and get it on the fitting. Making progress, the lock ring is properly locked in place, and you want to make sure that the hose itself is pushed all the way on to the inner fitting of the lower portion of your lint or fan assembly or housing and ductwork. And if all looks good, again, just double check everything before we take a step back and re-secure that panel with the 1/4" screw. Coming in, and this little tab right here went in between as shown there, and align the screw hole and as shown there. And I've got the screw inside the little 1/4" socket on the screwdriver. Do not cross thread these, and do not over tighten it. It is very thin aluminum. You don't want it stripped. Taking a step back and double check everything, and if all looks good, you can carefully shift your appliance back inside the enclosure. Align it with the chute. Slide the opposite end of the hose over that chute carefully as you did with the opposite end that goes inside. And I recommend getting it on maybe 3 to 4 inches and then securing it carefully with a clamp. Do not over tighten it. This is also thin aluminum. You don't want that caving in as you tighten that clamp. That would not be good. Making our way back inside the laundry center or washer and dryer enclosure and to the exhaust chute that goes through the wall and to the exterior portion. We are now going to carefully grab the hose or duct and feed it onto the chute. From here, we will tighten that screw, ultimately tightening the clamp. And DIYers, this chute is hollow, it's aluminum, it's very thin. Do not over tighten this clamp, you will damage everything. You want it snug, but again, don't over tighten it, and just ensure that the hose is not going to slide off the chute. At this point, just double check everything, and if all looks good, this part of the project or step is complete. Coming up and out, DIYers, what we did next was grab the power cord and power block and carefully and safely re-secure it and plug it into the outlet as shown there, and ensure that it is all the way pressed in and flush and mating with the connection on the wall. You do not want that loose. And again, a top view of it. As you see, again, don't over tighten it. Coming up and out of the enclosure, and DIYers, that is it. We hope this helps, and down below in the comments and description, we are going to have several additional helpful video links on washers and dryers, as well as laundry centers, and replacing the dryer drum belt and more. In addition, we are actually going to have a video on properly preparing your washer and dryer for pickup in the event that you are purchasing a brand new appliance set or just one of the two. And if you pay for the pickup, DIYers, there are specific guidelines and procedures that you have to abide by for them to properly accept it for pickup. The last thing you want to do is pay for pickup and they get here and you did not complete the steps and they look at you and say, sorry, we are not going to take your unit. Again, definitely check that out. We will show you how to properly prepare your unit or appliance for pickup. And in addition, we are going to have a new unit resting on a pad as shown there. We hope this helps. Do us a favor below the video. You will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching.